Balita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama. Ngayong Pasko hanggang dumating ang 2026. Proud member of ALC Group of Companies. Isang pagpupugay, pasasalamat at pagsisikap ang pangako na aming bibitiwan sa lahat ng aming natanggap na pagpapala. Pagpupugay sa lahat ng nagbigay ng pagkilala sa Aliw Broadcasting Corporation mula sa Philippine Outstanding Brand of the Year, Philippine Finest Business Awards, and Outstanding Achievement, Asia Pacific Luminaire Awards, Southeast Asian Premier Business and Achiever Award. Sa aming mga natanggap, 4-time Best AM Station Awardee, DWIZ 882, 4-time Best Radio Newscaster Awardee, Dennis Antenor Jr., 3-time Best FM Station Awardee, Home Radio 97.9, 2-time Most Promising TV Station Awardee, Aliw Channel 23, at Best Public Service Radio Host Awardee, Bragi Braganza. Pangakong itutuloy ang pagbibigay ng tamang balita at tamang paglilingkod at isang malaking pasasalamat sa tiwalang naibigay sa amin. Pakaasahan yung gagawin naming malaking inspirasyon ito para ipagpatuloy ang maglingkod sa lahat ng Pilipino. Latest, pinakabago at tama. DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Pilipinas, narito na mga tamang balita sa oras na ito. Mayorya ng mga Pilipino ang handang ipaglaban ng Pilipinas sakaling magkaroon ng konflik o kaguluhan. Batay ito sa pinakahuling tugon ng masa survey ng Okta Research, 70% ng mga respondents ang hadlang o handang ipaglaban ng bansa, habang 30% naman ang hindi handa rito, undecided. Naitala ang pinakamaraming willing respondents sa National Capital Region na 79%, na sinundan ng Balance Luzon na 73%.
DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
At yan ang tamang balita sa oras na ito. Mag-follow at subscribe sa lahat ng DWIZ News digital accounts, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, DWIZ News app at DWIZ News website. Ako po si Gilbert Perdes, nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
Oras-oras nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama. DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Ang lahat ng opinyon, pagtingin, pananaw o kuro-kuro ng mga bisita at panauhin o mga anchors o host sa programang ito ay sarili at tanging opinyon at pananaw ng mga nabanggit at hindi opinyon o pananaw ng Aliw Broadcasting Corporation, mga producers o mga namamahala ng Aliw Broadcasting o anumang organisasyon na affiliated sa network, at kailanman ay hindi ine-endorso ng Aliw Broadcasting Corporation ang mga nabanggit na opinyon at pananaw sa programa.
Mga isyung legal ay pag-uusapan, bibigyan daan, mga karapatang dapat ipaglaban, sasagutin ang katanungan ng mga taong naghahanap ng katarungan. Dito sa programa, Laban para sa Karapatan, kasama si Attorney Lorna Capunan. Laban para sa Karapatan.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Nandito tayo sa Laban para sa Karapatan. Nawala lang ako ng linggo, nabulol na yung aking karapatan. Okay, dito tayo sa Laban para sa Karapatan. Attorney Lorna Capunan with my co-host, Jimmy Regalario. Good morning, Jimmy.
Good morning, Attorney. Good morning, Colonel.
Yeah.
Padilla, ang ating...
We will introduce our guest.
Yeah,
It's very
ikaw
important.
mag-introduce. Pero napakahalaga nitong talakayan na ito. Pagkat ang daming kumakalat ng mga chismisan, no?
Ang daming fake news.
Lalo na bukas ay may umpisan ng 3 araw na demonstrasyon, no, ng mga ink ng ating Iglesia ni Cristo.
We have Iglesia ni Cristo,
pero
Jesus
marami
is
nagsasabi
Lord.
na mga pro-Duterte yan, no, na may gustong ipahiwatig sa sambayanan na may puwersa sila, di ba?
Okay. At maraming nangyayari sa Senado, mga hindi natin alam kung fake news or artificial intelligence yung mga guests nila doon. But before we go into that, I'd like to introduce, and I'm very honored. Kasi syempre mayabang tayo, sister ko to sa The Outstanding Women in Nation Service, our 2025 awardee. We have with us Colonel Francel Margaret Padilla. You don't use Taborlupa?
Yes.
Taborlupa. She has been 29 years of service with Philippine Army, and she is the first female spokesperson for the Armed Forces of the Philippines. She took her civil engineering undergraduate at the University of Santo Tomas. Ka-Jimmy, ka-university mo.
Tomas, yan rin ako.
Go, uste.
Nung araw.
Uste. Nung araw. Bago ka naging rebelde. Ganon. And then she went to the Philippine Military Academy, the Sanghaya class, where she had the degree of Military Science and Management Master's degree. Siya po ay naging group commander of the Media and Civil Affairs Group of the Civil Relations Service of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. We have seen her nationwide when she was also national spokesperson for the COVID response. Correct? Ikaw yung nagbabalita tungkol sa yung National Task Force Against COVID, and a former consultant of the Presidential Advisor on the Peace Process and PSG of President GMA. She is multi-awarded. In 2023, our guest, Colonel Francel, received the Cybersecurity Woman Leader of the Year Award, and she was top 30 women in security of ASEAN. Hindi lang pang Pilipinas to, ka-Jimmy, pang ASEAN at pang mundo ngayon, na? And top 10 women in cybersecurity Philippines. We are very pleased to welcome with us Colonel Francel. Good morning, Colonel.
Magandang umaga po, Attorney Lorna and Ka-Jimmy. Thank you for having the Armed Forces of the Philippines here po.
Okay. Behave tayo ngayon, ha? Behave ka ngayon. Kasi,
Dapat naman akong behave.
kasi baka ma-link up tayo sa destabilization efforts. You are the before we go to the topic today, which is cybersecurity, no, and the security and destabilization issue. Tell us about yourself. Kasi we are very proud. For the first time, nag-DEI, nag-diversity, equity, at inclusivity ang ating armed forces by getting you as the first female spokesperson.
Yes, ma'am, no, it's actually very humbling po to be put in this position. Hindi ko rin po in-expect, ma'am, no, I don't have a public affairs background. Signal officer po ako, so I'm into C4S, Command, Control, Communications, and Cyber po. So, yung tiwala po na binigay sa akin, it's really very humbling because, syempre ma'am, no, pagka nag-fail ako, yung pangarap ng mga susunod na mga kababaihan na gustong sumunod sa aking yapak, wala na po, no? Kaya talagang nandun po yung pressure to really perform at the utmost. So, yun ma'am, so far po, I'm 1 year, 10 months on the job. So hopefully po, hindi ko naman nabigo po ang sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas by representing them as the voice and the face of the AFP being a female. Lalo pa po ngayon, ma'am, no? Grabe po yung issues natin. We have the West Philippine Sea, which is an international issue. Ito pong mga nangyayari nga po sa ngayon, plus all of the current events po na kailangan talaga we have to be at par. And very challenging ma'am pag AFP spokes ka kasi Army ako ma'am so I have to learn the intricacies of the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, plus the current affairs, plus the West Philippine Sea. So talagang yung learning curve ma'am napakataas din po.
Wow. And itong recent, because maraming nagtatanong, I don't know if it's fake news or not, but you're able to discern kung ano yung fake news, ano yung artificial intelligence, ano yung social media na yung mga trolls sa social media, nadidiscern nyo ba? Is there a capacity? Unang-una, tanungin ko muna yung kapasidad natin, because although they say that we are a developed country, in terms of the world cyber security world and the world internet, ang communications natin, hindi naman atin kumukuha pa tayo sa China. And China in the geopolitical universe is a real threat. Especially you mentioned West Philippine Sea, no? Gusto nilang angkinin ng Pilipinas, no? So, pag cyber attack tayo, mamamatay tayo. Is that a major concern?
Well, ma'am, there are two domains of operations that we are at par. Wala pong mahiyaman at mahirap na bansa sa two domains of operations, which is information and cyber domain. So, ang skill set po ng mga Pilipino, ma'am, we are really very good in terms of technology. So, matatalino po mga Pinoy,
Ini-export nga natin ang
yes,
ating
ma'am.
mga
So,
cyber experts.
nakikipagsabayan tayo niyan, ma'am, sa ibang bansa in terms of our skill sets sa cyber. So, diyan naman, ma'am, sa usapin yan, going to the Armed Forces of the Philippines, we have been transitioning our unit to conform to the new contemporary modern challenges that we're facing. Thus, we have recently created cyber. It was declared as the fourth domain of operations over land, air, and sea. So kung titignan nyo po, over the kinetic po side of things, we have down the non-kinetic challenges that we're facing. So yung Air Force, Army, Navy, nadagdagan na po siya. Meron na po tayong cyber command ngayon.
Maganda yun. So ngayon, hindi lang Army, Navy, Air Force, may cyber.
Yes, ma'am.
Ang tinatawag doon, kinetic?
Non-kinetic.
Non-kinetic.
Opo. Yung kinetic, ma'am, is yung ma'am, no, yung typical
Gera.
po. Opo, yung Air Force, our Navy, or yung mga tanks, we're talking about aircrafts and ships and all that. Yung non-kinetic, ito, ma'am, no, dito we're looking at yung ngayon yung usapin mo po sa misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation, nagtatranscend na to, ma'am, sa cognitive warfare. So they're now playing with their minds. So ang sinasabi nga po nito, the new battlefield is your mind. Kasi yung ang daming buzzword ngayon, ma'am, di ba? We're going into blockchain, we're talking about artificial intelligence. Yung AI, ma'am, is shaping us so much because nagpo-proliferate yung notion ng fake news dahil dito. Kasi ma'am, for example, ang AI, ma'am, works in algorithms. So for example, you have a social media account and you watched a reel na perspective ng isang tao. So nagsabi yung tao, ganito, tungkol sa ganitong bansa and all those things. So pinanood mo siya, ma'am, ng buong buo. The algorithm of that social media now will say, etong taong to, interesado siya sa ganitong issue. Therefore, yung mga next na reels mo, ma'am, will be that kind. So you'll be fed the same information over and over. So hinawawala yung parallelism ng ideas. Hindi mo na naririnig yung kabilang side ng spectrum, yung kabilang idea. So ngayon, ma'am, yung mind mo, eto na ngayon yung piniperceive mo as true. Kasi ulit-ulit na yun lang din yung napapanood mo. So interviews about that, ideas that
Kanya pala
conforms to that.
pag nagbasa ka, tinatanong nila if you accept. Kasi, kagaya ng sabi ko, bakit lahat ng pumupunta dito tungkol sa sapatos, no? They know your preference, they know your. So you're saying that even happens sa mga links, yung mga trolls natin, kunyari, kung alam nila, kagaya ni Ka Jimmy, alam nila na community organizer, yun ang mga finifeed sa kanya, no?
Yes.
Ganon.
Opo, yung interests mo, ma'am, yun po ang i-feed sa'yo. Over and above that po, no, yung troll farm kasi dati, 'di ba, ma'am, isang tao, marami siyang cellphone na kinokontrol. Ganon dati. Ngayon, ma'am, hindi. With the advent of artificial intelligence, we just put an AI, an algorithm that says, every comment that mentions, say, Raleigh or West Philippine Sea, meron na siyang fixed na answer na yun na mismong program, ma'am, ang sumasagot, no? So, pag titignan nyo po, if we do forensic investigation, these comments are not real people. Pero nafi-feed yun sa sa online. Kaya
so, it is kasi sinasabi natin ngayon na dami ng pera mga nagdi-disturb, no? Like for instance, itong Sara Duterte faction, no? Sabi natin, ang dami naman pera ng Sara Duterte faction. Ang dami nilang trolls. Yung pala, these are not real people. They could be AI feeding
Yes, ma'am,
into yung sinasabi mo nga preference, no? Alam nila yung gusto mong tanggapin, no? Jimmy,
Hindi, yung threat kasi is very
Yung threat.
external ang tingin kong yung pinaka-dangerous threat that we are facing. Yung China is very much interested with the economic base that we have. No? Andyan yung West Philippine Sea, ba't nagagawan dyan? May oil deposit dyan. At ang speculation o yung finding, it's an oil deposit as big as the deposit that Saudi Arabia have. Ngayon, ang problema dyan, nandun pa lang sa exploratory stage. Dun sa oil exploration stage, pumirma na itong Duterte ng joint exploration program with China. Yun ngayon ang ginagamit ng China as a right for them to intervene dyan sa West Philippine Sea. Kaya maguling West Philippine Sea, hindi tatahimikan. And I think, dyan mag-uumpisa yung national instability as a result ng word that is being fought for dyan sa West Philippine Sea. And of course, dapat nakikialam talaga at nag-uusap yung ating national defense saka yung economic policy making body. At tingnan ninyo yung wala man lang intervention of saying that it is a threat to national security. Na yung National Grid Corporation, yung ating gumagawa ng kuryente, may gali. 40% yan ibinenta ni Duterte sa China. And the operation is being done through Nanking. Kung gusto nilang sakupin yung Pilipinas, wala kang kalaban. Iba-blackout ka lang nationwide, patay ka na I don't know why is it na walang ganyang analytical process by which it's going on the side of government when it comes to defense.
Lahat naman po to, sir, tinitignan natin. No? These are critical infrastructures. So ito po, kasama dyan yung power grids natin, our waterways, no? Ito pong telcos, kasi will entails communication.
Sa selling of the 40%?
Yes, sir. So, yan nga po, sir, no? That's an equation that we're also looking into. And titignan niyo po, ito pong ang idea na to, na pag tayo po nagkagulo internally, there's somebody benefiting, no, from all of this chaos. So lahat naman
Yes.
po na yan ay tinitingnan po natin, no, hindi po tayo nagpapabaya dyan. In fact, sabi ko nga, itong unit namin, ma'am, has been evolving to the modern challenges that we're facing. So over and above the Cyber Command, we have also created the Intelligence Command.
So yung national policy, I think may intervention that is supposed to be coming from the national defense. Halimbawa, speech ng incumbent president pa si Duterte, andun yung Chinese ambassador. At sasabihin, maski biro yun it's a threat to national security. Telling the Chinese ambassador, pwede nyo ba kaming gawing probinsya nyo na lang? It's an open it's an open declaration. It's an official declaration. Dapat sinarge na yung presidente ng di ba, treason yun
treason, betrayal. Okay. Now, tell us about the recent unrest, no? Because since September 21, na-monitor nyo? September 21 was monitored, I'm sure, by you, no, as AFP spokesperson. Yung bang nangyari na, kasi it was peaceful until the evening time, no? Sa Mendiola. Yun ba, was that anticipated in your intelligence, by your intelligence monitoring?
Yes, ma'am, no? Sa lahat po ng mga ganitong activities, palagi po tayong may scenario-based dyan na risk analysis, ma'am. So lahat po yan nakikita natin, no? What if this happens? What if this happens? What are things that we would be doing? Our contingency plans, kasama po lahat yan for any eventuality and any scenario po. For these kinds of activities, ma'am, this is a peace and order situation. So ang lead po natin dito is the Philippine National Police. But of course, ang Armed Forces of the Philippines po, nandyan po kami sa sidelines, tahimik lang din po kami. Buo naman po, ma'am, ang ating intelligence community, which of course the AFP is a very very active member and part of this community. And with that po, naka-standby po lagi ang Armed Forces of the Philippines for that. So, ang tropa namin nung 21 September nga, ma'am, no, we
Ano
were
yung
also...
conclusion ninyo? Was it, kasi merong mga prominent political figures to, nandun ang isang Marcoleta, nandun sila, the usual suspects, no? Bakit, anong nangyari doon? Although we know that Mayor Isko said that there will be charges of sedition filed. Minors were involved, so rinifer rin sa DSWD, no? Did you go beyond monitoring and meron ba kayong function ng ganyan? To feed information to, for instance, the PNP based on your findings sa intelligence ninyo, no?
Yes, ma'am. As I said po, yung intelligence community natin, ma'am, are very closely working with each other. Sa amin kasi, ma'am, even if we have intelligence reports, we are not a law enforcement agency. So even pag may findings kami, ma'am, no, mayroon kaming kinasing, meron po kaming na-find out na that merits an investigation, formal investigation and an arrest or whatever po, no, kung anong mga ng next na step for law enforcement, we have to partner with the proper agency. So kung makikita nyo po, minsan pag mga raid po, no, AFP with the NBI, PNP with the AFP, ganyan po yan. So it depends upon the situation and kung sino po yung involved as to who we partner with. There was one time, ma'am, ang partner namin was the Bureau of Immigration. So ganun po. So we see that really our intelligence forces are working on the sidelines po. Tahimik naman po talaga. Pero rest assured po that we are doing our mandate accordingly po.
Jimmy, yung tinatanong mong listahan ni Tulfo.
Yung pa
Ano
isa,
yun?
no? Si Montalvo came out with a list of person na involved in destabilization, as he said it. At
Umikot na yan sa social media, di ba?
Oo, ang dami-dami, no? Yung mga iba, yung up to now, very vocal, no? Yung sila Topacio, nandyan lahat yan, O yung may certain military retired officers, di ba? Yung Pokis and De Leon, and I don't know kung sino-sino pa yung nandun sa listahan, but it's a long list. Kaya lang, I think, if it involves national security, at the least that could have been done, pwede naman tanungin na siguro yan.
Di ba preemptive?
Hindi, pwede nang questionin, pwede na...
Preemptive survey,
Hindi kasi I remember
Detention,
during... di ba, pwedeng maging sensitive sa ganyan because it involves national security.
As I said po, sir, no, our intelligence is a community. So it's not just composed of the AFP. We are in tandem with other government agencies as well. And of course, kung sino po ang tamang ahensya na dapat umaksyon, sila po yung maglalabas niyan ng results ng investigation. But yun nga po, I am assuring you po that we are not sitting down on this. We are doing our mandate accordingly po. But of course, hindi naman po talaga natin sinisiwalat ang ginagawa ng ating intelligence community. But nagtatrabaho po sila. And nakikita nyo naman po yan, cases are being filed, results of investigation are also being fed to the public as the case may be.
Kasi ang nakikita ko yung imbalance dun sa personnel ngayon Ang AFP as a lower number number of people compared to the PNP. I think yung AFP is only around 120,000 something, while yung PNP is around 200,000. Ngayon,
in a population of 110, 112 million,
ibig
parang
sabihin, yung PNP, siyempre, alam
disproportionate
nila yung
yun.
mga localized situation, but you don't have so much of a personnel. And may mga reports, I don't know if it's true, na Sara Duterte is trying to openly attack the government and try to destabilize. He went to the Armory camp where Tebes is incarcerated sa Silang Bayon, yung PNP custodial. At 11 o'clock in the evening. Can you imagine? It has been circulated sa ating sa ating
ano daw ang purpose?
ang lumabas na balita, nagbigay ng 1 billion, balita, hindi natin alam kung totoo, no? ang nagbigay ng 1 billion yung Tevez, a known criminal who is accused of murder, di ba? And a wealthy one because one of the biggest landlords yan in Negros. At I think there is now an ongoing, sabi hindi ko alam kung totoo, an ongoing fundraising na by the billions ang amount. And if it is by the billions, it is a threat to national security if the people who are gathering together are people with an intention to destabilize, or not only to destabilize, but to grab power, di ba? Anong pwedeng gawin sa mga ganyan? Naalala ko nung araw papatingin lang ako, huli na ako. Pero ngayon,
Kasi nakakatakot naman kasi yung mukha mo. Kasi, yung mga iba, hindi mo
hindi,
sususpetsahan.
sabihin, but that's, I think, the reaction of a person concerned about national security. At yun yung assigned task of the armed forces.
Yeah.
So if that is the so-called assigned task, yung national security of the nation, then definitely, at least a question, maski na si Tulfo man lang, ano ba itong listahan mo ng destabilization, di ba? Saan mo nakuha ito, di ba?
Sa marami tayong nakikinig, no? Will not only here in the Philippines, kasamang mga OFW natin, our diaspora abroad, no? At sila ang concerned. Ano nang mangyayari sa pamilya ko?
Hindi, wait for my question kasi I think it's a very much relevant question So what can you say about it, Colonel?
Ayun na nga ang question ko. Kasi maraming nagtatanong, anong ginagawa ng gobyerno? Kasi the commander-in-chief under our constitution is the President of the Republic. Mukhang ang sinasabi nila, rightly or wrongly, we have a weak president. But we have a president who wants to change yung legacy ng martial law. Yung kaya ang reason bakit hindi masyadong assertive in terms of arresting all of these possible offenders. Meron ba kayong instructions to exercise tolerance?
To get mellow.
Tolerance, yung maximum tolerance in terms of surveillance, arresting, etc.
As I said po, ang Armed Forces of the Philippines po, hindi po kami law enforcement. So, hindi po kami nagkakonduct ng arrests without the proper agency po partnering with them. But as I said, we're not taking this sitting down. So, ano po yan pag may narinig po kami, may report po, may ugong-ugong, aaksyonan po natin yan. Parang doktor yan, mami. Pagka ikaw po, nag-complain ka sa doktor, may nararamdaman ako, may lagnat ako. Hindi naman sasabihin ng doktor, hindi, ano lang yan, naulanan ka lang. Diba? The doctor will check you, look at all of the possible diagnosis. Pag hindi ito pumasok, titignan niya yung next angle. Bakit ganon? Because the lagnat is simply a symptom of maybe something bigger. So this is also the premise that we are working with.
Hindi, kasi yung point ko, that's why I raised the question about Tulfo's paper. I'm calling it a Tulfo's paper.
Closer to the mic.
Ang ano niya, ang lead niya dun sa story niya, destabilization These are destabilizers. Ito yung mga destabilizers. Ang daming tao, kasama sila Topacio, ang dami, kung sino-sino. May mga retired military officers. And prior to that, noong September 21, I think it came out in the morning and in the media outlets, TV, radio, and a certain group of retired generals or officers representing the Duterte group went inside the camp and trying to convince the leadership of the AFP for a withdrawal of support. That is sedition, di ba? I don't know how the armed forces is reacting. Dali.
Factual ba yon? Tanungin mo kung factual. Kung pumunta nga sila doon.
Yes, ma'am. Nagpunta po sila because they wanted to seek audience po. So, pinagbigyan po sila ng ating Chief of Staff together with the battle staff. Pinakinggan po sila. Ano po yung hinaing nyo? Ano po ba yung mga gusto nyo pong mangyari? And so, with that po, our team din po from the Armed Forces of the Philippines assured them of the professionalism of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. So ang tinitignan po natin dito, ang loyalties po ng kasundaluhan, ang Armed Forces of the Philippines in general, is to the Constitution. And so we are looking at any violation of ano po ba yung mga unconstitutional po na nangyayari sa ngayon. So that's the overall premise, overarching premise that we're looking into po, no. And as I said nga po, if anything prospers to our community of gathering of data and intelligence, no, it will be channeled to the proper agencies, sir.
Yeah. Kasi kung ganyan nakadirect yung yung attempt na yan going inside the camp, convincing the leadership of the AFP by telling them to withdraw support. I think the urging itself of withdrawing the support to the incumbent leadership is an act of treason. Seditious na yun kung ako yung leaders siguro hindi ka na makakalabas ng kampo. Interrogated na yan, di ba? But I think the reaction is quite light on this aspect. Now, it also represents the weakness of the leadership in Malacanang. Because if Malacanang is sensitive about stabilization and destabilization, then a thing like this will not be left unheard or left untouched, or at least a question should be raised.
Pero balansin rin natin, because...
I'm asking the question muna.
Oo,
Di ba?
sige.
Well, not necessarily, sir. Kung titignan niyo po kasi yung pinag-ugatan po ng mga ganitong statements and lahat ng mga actions na ito was the call of the President for
Correct.
accountability during his SONA. So yun naman po talaga yung punot dulo nito. It was the President himself who called for this investigation of all of these things. Ang sabi nga niya, mahiya naman kayo. And so with that po, from the Armed Forces of the Philippines perspective po, we remain professional in this because we believe in the constitutional processes that we have to take this into consideration and give it a chance. Yun pong ating democratic democratic principles that are in place. Bigyan po natin ng tsansa na ito po ang umusbong at umaksyon dito. Na-create naman nga po itong ICI to actually do that, to conduct that investigation. And ito po yung binibigyan natin ng tsansa na itong ICI po ang makapaglabas ng talagang katotohanan po sa lahat ng usaping ito. Sa loob naman po ng Sandatahang Lakas ng Pilipinas, hindi naman po kami manhid. Tao rin po kami, bawat miyembro po ng kasundaluhan, we are also like you. Mayroon din po kaming sentiments, mayroon din po kaming sariling pananaw.
Affected rin kayo ng
Opo,
baha.
pareho rin po tayo
gutom,
ng yes po,
the economic situation.
Yes
Affected
po.
rin kayo.
We are
Pamilya
one.
ninyo.
Yes, ma'am. We are one with the people that we are all against corruption. Hindi naman po kami iba ng sentimiento. We are not saying that we are not against corruption. But we choose to face this professionally and let the democratic processes take its natural course po.
Okay, on that note, Kajimi, ¿qué hora es?
Ang ating oras ay alas 11:32 ng umaga. Andito tayo sa DWIZ sa programang Laban para sa Karapatan.
Laban para sa karapatan.
That time check was brought to you by Arena.
Pagsapit ng alas 12 bago ka mag-lunch o kaya nagla-lunch ka. Dagdagan pa ang mga alam mo para hindi ka naman huli sa balita. Live sa DWIZ Manila at sa lahat ng DWIZ News FM sa buong Pilipinas, Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. At mapapanood ng live sa Aliw 23 Free TV at sa lahat ng digital channel ng DWIZ. Ang Balitang Bayan. Mga balitang nangyari lang at kasalukuyang nangyayari. Balitang Bayan. Kasama ang opisyal na tagagising ng bayan, si Drew Nasino. Di ka aantukin kapag nalaman mo na ang latest sa Balitang Bayan. Sa patuloy na pagbabalita ng tama at paglilingkod ng tama. Balitang Bayan. Araw-araw, 12 noon. Mga lugar na pinuntahan ng ibang tao, mga produkto, serbisyo na rekomendado. Alamin sa Highly Recommended.
Handa ka na bang matikman ang best dishes ng Bohol? Dito, hindi lang maganda ang tanawin, kahit ang pagkain ay world-class din. Unang-una, ang chicken inato, ang Bohol version ng chicken barbecue na juicy, smoky at perfect sa sausawang suka. Sunod ang humbang Bisaya, isang mabangong pork stew na mala adobo pero may tamis at lambot na sobrang sarap sa kanin. Hindi rin pwedeng palampasin ang ubi kinampay, ang purple yam na super creamy at ginagawang jam o panghimagas. Syempre, andyan din ang peanut kisses, ang crispy peanut treat na hugis chocolate hills, pasalubong must-have to.
Pinakabago at tama. DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Pilipinas, narito na ang tamang balita sa oras na ito. Video message ni Zaldico, binaliit at binatikos ng ilang grupo. Report mula kay Patrol 24, June Samson.
Pumalag at mariing binatikos ng ilang grupo ang pahayag ni dating Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldico na nag-viral kahapon sa social media. Sinabi ni Chairman Emeritus Dr. Jose Antonio Goitia na malinaw naman na walang naipakitang ebidensya ang dating mambabatas na nag-uugnay kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos sa sinasabi niyang 100 billion pesos na insersyon. Ang tanging mga dokumentong ipinakitaan niya ay karaniwang listahan ng proyekto at pondo sa pambansang budget. Ngunit wala itong anumang patunay o utos mula sa Malacanang na nagsasabing idinagdag ang mga ito ayon sa kagustuhan ng Pangulo. Sa gitna ng mga espekulasyon, binigyan din ni Dr. Goitia na katotohanan at ebidensya ang dapat pagbatayan ng publiko. Sa halip niya na humarap sa Senado at magbigay ng sinumpaang salaysay, ay mas pinili sa ibang bansa ilabas niko ang kanyang mga akusasyon, kaya lumutang ang mga pagdududa sa kanyang layunin. Si Dr. Goitia ay Chairman Emeritus ng Alyansa ng Bantay sa Kapayapaan at Demokrasya, People's Alliance for Democracy and Reforms, Liga Independencia Pilipinas at Filipino Do Not Yield Movement. Patrol 34, June Samson, para sa impilang may todong lakas ni WIZ, nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
At yan ang mga tamang balita sa mga oras na ito. Mag-follow at subscribe sa lahat ng DWIZ News digital accounts sa Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, DWIZ News app at DWIZ News website. Ako po si Gilbert Perdes. Nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
Oras-oras nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama. DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Laban para sa karapatan. Kasama si Attorney Lorna Capunan. Laban para sa karapatan.
Balik po tayo dito sa Laban para sa Karapatan. I'm with Jimmy Regalario and our honored guest today is spokesperson Colonel Francel Margaret Padilla Taborlupa. Meron tayong Facebook listener dito, no, viewer. Sabi niya, hindi ba dapat si Cecil Santos ask, hindi ba dapat kasuhan itong mga retired generals asking the AFP to withdraw support? In connection with that, nag-loyalty check na ba kayo within your ranks?
We don't need to conduct loyalty checks, ma'am. Tiwala po tayo na ang ating mga ground commanders are very much aware of the task at hand, na sila po mismo, ma'am, kilala nila yung mga everyone that's under them, na yun po, ang aming professionalism ay ando doon, and buong-buo po kami and united. So, napakita na natin yan. That was the litmus test po, no, na hinarap namin was the 21 September. And napatunayan naman po ng Sandatahang Lakas ng Pilipinas na talagang naging professional po tayo dito sa insidenteng ito.
But these retired generals are really the generals that served during the time of Duterte. At ang balita ay meron silang weekly or monthly pension, no? So talagang, is it all about money? Can you buy loyalty of our armed forces or air force or our with money? It's all about money. Senators, congressmen, it's greed. It's power corrupted by greed. Anong masasabi mo as spokes?
Ma'am, yung pension po kasi, no, this is an emotional topic. Opo. Karapatan po yan ng bawat nagretiro dahil pinaghirapan po nila yan. But for you to continuously enjoy it po, no, there are certain clauses that you have to adhere to, which is, yun nga po, hindi po tayo lalabag sa batas. And if convicted po, that's the only time na pwede pong makancel ang pension. So, nandun po kasi yun na pwedeng mapatigil ang pension mo kung convicted ka of a certain crime. So, yun po yun. So, anything that's unconstitutional, that's what we're looking into. Misnomer po yun na sinasabi na tatanggalan namin kayong lahat ng pension. Hindi po yun totoo.
Meron akong parang yung issue from within about the MUP, men in uniform ba yan? MUP, inactive service, no? At saka yung demand ng mga retired officers and men. Ngayon, I think, hindi ko alam kung tama ako, pero may demand sila na yung retired would like to make equal yung kanilang retirement pay o yung kanilang pension, at least a little bit closer to the regular pay of the men in active service. And this ang sabi, nag-create ng conflict. Is it true? May ganun na issue?
Ito po kasing usaping pension talaga, sir. Pinag-aaralan na po talaga yan for quite some time na po. And as I said, as we evolved into a modern military, professional na po tayo, naintindihan naman din po natin talaga ang concern dito in terms of the budget and all these things. Bukas naman po kami sa probabilidad na meron din po kaming ambag, no, for this. So kung ano po, this is higher than the AFP po. So for us, we will also give our take on the issue, take on the matter, kasi iba din po kasing intricacies ng aming serbisyo, ma'am. Kami po pumasok at a very young age of say 17 years old. So we already dedicated our youth in service to the nation. And with the internal security operations that yung mga tropa po natin, no, ang katawan po nila, iba po yung pagod at hirap. Mabasa ng ulan, no, tatawid ng ilog, natutuyo na rin yung damit mo sa katawan mo. So even at a tender age, yes ma'am, no, at a tender age of 56 retirement, now 57, iba po yung, it will take its toll on you. So ang katawan po ng sundalo pag nag-retire yan, bagsak na po kahit po 57 years old siya.
So people are asking, bakit ang military at 57, meron na kayong expertise, may skill kayo, may wisdom na kayo, bakit pinapa-retire na kayo?
Yun nga ma'am,
talagang
kasi
pagod na kayo.
Yung katawan namin ma'am, iba po yung rigid yung po yung because of the internal security operations.
So you're not
bundok.
objecting to this age retirement?
Marami naman din pong programs ngayon na pinag-aaralan. So meron po dyan yung MNSA noon na equivalent to say a CESO post. You can still continue a government service outside, di ba po? Kasi during that time when you retire,
pwedeng ground,
pwede rin po, no? Pwede shaft transition to another position po. Those things, kasi lahat po yan, ma'am, tinitingnan po kung anong iba't ibang aspeto na pwede pong pag-aralan kung how to move forward with
Colonel
that.
Francel, maganda yung binigay mong point. You were talking about how you at 17 years old and your colleagues inculcated na yung value ng patriotism, love of country. Sa palagay nyo ba, kailangan ibalik natin kasi yung mga Korean telenovela, nalalaman natin na nawawala yung mga famous actors and actors kasi may compulsory military service. Sa dami ng 110 million Filipino people and able-bodied men and women, shouldn't that be a recommendation na ibalik natin at the very least, if not values formation, balik natin ng ROTC.
Yes,
Para
ma'am,
kasi
no?
wala ng love of country, wala ng patriotism.
Opo. Yan nga po, ma'am, din. We have been pushing for quite some time na din po. ito pong surveys natin, makikita din po natin dito yung 8 out of 10 Filipinos trust the AFP and 7 out of 10 Filipinos are willing to fight with the AFP. But
Wow.
if you look at the demographics, these are the RR generation po. No? So the younger generations po, not really ganun kataas yung ano nila. Opo.
Pero
So,
yung mga
yeah.
issue lumalabas ngayon, na burning issue, kagaya ng corruption. Corruption. Tapos, yung...
Kasi wala nang labong country nga eh.
Andali, dynasty. Ano, yung anti-dynasty is now a dominant feeling coming from the youth. And so many other political issues na nagre-reverberate from Apari to Holo and na nadi-disturb talaga yung peaceful thinking ng tao. Naisip ko tuloy sa Inglaterra, nangyari yan, di ba, na dominated ng mga dynasties, ng mga royal families, yung political spectrum, biglang hindi sila pinakikinggan yung mga demands ng mga peasantry at iba. Pumasok si Cromwell as the head of the army. But in what representation are you doing this, Mr. Cromwell? Well, I represent the army, the outer conscience of the people. This parliament is abolished. I think yung may mga ganong direction ngayon yung thinking. Because of the too much poverty, too much graft and corruption, there must be an intervention of force. Of course, you cannot do it because we have sedition law, we have and so many other laws that will put you on hot water. No? Ang sinasabi ko lang, is there a right to speak for somebody who has the authority and power and reprimand if not and remind if not reprimand, no? O wag naman, baka pwede namang tanggalin yan, no? Mag-self kayo, discipline na yung bawasan man lang ninyo yung graft and corruption practices ninyo dyan, especially sa legislative body, na yan yung policy making body of the land. Kaya pag corrupt kayo, di corrupt din yung mga lalabas na batas dyan. What can you say about it?
Mahirap yun.
Ang Armed Forces of the Philippines po, no, we shun away from political matters po. Because we want to maintain that equilibrium na nandyan kami to act professionally and really push forward national security concerns. So the right agency po will really move for that, and the Armed Forces of the Philippines will support that.
This might be a blunt question, and I think you may or may not answer it. But do we have a strong commander-in-chief?
Strong
Commander-in-chief.
As a Commander-in-Chief po for the Armed Forces of the Philippines, ang tingin po natin dyan, no, siya nga po ang nagpatawag na simulan po ang lahat ng ito, na mapag-usapan at aksyonan na po once and for all.
Yeah.
So, that is the very overarching premise. Yan po yung pinakapundasyon ng lahat ng nangyayari ito. But of course, sinasakyan po ito ng ibang grupo na may iba din pong agenda, and ito nga po yung tinitignan natin in terms of our national security
Yan ang
concerns.
the premise of my question. Saan ka nakakita ng presidenteng minumura ng vice-presidente mo na yung murang matunog na ginagamit sa kanto, sa mga slum areas, yung ganong mura. Tapos, chief executive officer, ikaw yung head of the state. Tapos, the world is listening. Hindi lang sa akin, para sa akin, sedition yun Act of yun Di ba? Act of treason. Ako, I will order the arrest of somebody who will tell that to me if I'm the chief executive officer. Or if I am the chief executive of the land.
Pero kung arestuhin naman lahat natin ang minumurang presidente.
Nagmura na nga, vice-presidente. Asking pa nga for his resignation. Where in the world can you find such type of situation? Vice-presidente mo, pinag-resign siya, at siya ang papalit kapag nag-resign.
Kanya,
Tapos yung mura ng, yung pagmumura na ginagamit lang sa kalye, sa kanto.
Isasama ko dyan, idadagdag ko dyan. Itong before all of this
That's the reason why I asked the question. Do we have a strong executive officer?
we cannot expect the spokes naman to answer that,
Hindi, kasi the military will have to evaluate it. Bakit ka weak? Kung doon, maglagay na lang tayo ng strong man.
No, okay, we don't have to answer that. As you said, you are not involved in politics. No? Pero ang
Hindi politics yun. It's a question of command. And
Okay.
it's a question of moral ascendancy.
That's why, sir, as we said, we are looking into what is unconstitutional. So, kung ano pa man po ang malabag po sa batas, then the proper agency po will act on it, sir.
Kaya nga. Kasi yung vice president mo, minumura ka, pinagre-resign ka, pinapaalis ka, I don't know, how will you be able to face
Kanya
it?
nga ang sasabihin ko sana ka Jimmy, isi-segue ko, nakakalimutan ng mga tao that even before this flood issue came out, this corruption in public works, meron tayong impeachment complaint na na-freeze sa Senado at na-freeze sa Supreme Court. What was this impeachment complaint about? It was all about Sara Duterte. Hindi lang yung pagmumura niya sa presidente. Her disrespect for authority, no? Not only
Ang tawag
authority.
yan, destabilization with impunity.
Correct. May assassination attempt pa siya, hindi ba? Nag-media conference pa siya na papatayin ko.
Yung destabilization with
That is
impunity.
correct. That's why wag natin sa mga nakikinig at nanonood, wag nating kalimutan na itong mga drama ng Duterte camp isang sideshow to sidestep the current impeachment na pagdating ng February of next year, mabubuhay na naman yan. So, gumagawa sila ng political destabilization. Pati yung pag-aresto ni Bato, na may pending warrant of arrest, although unverified, it will be served soon. The state of health of the president, they're making it an issue. All of this to destabilize, all of this to discredit the current administration, no? So, yung mga nakikinig, yung mga Duterte, mga nakikinig sa atin, pinapaalala ko lang na hindi one-sided. Hindi dapat one-sided ang narrative. Let's not forget that there are pending issues against Sara Duterte and the Duterte supporters. Impeachable offenses. Okay. But having said that,
Yung question kasi, ang
can we
papasayan
defend-
kayo Di ba? Yung peace and stability, yung maintenance. So, if there will be destabilization, ang papasayan yung armed forces.
Colonel Francel, okay. Tatanong ko lang kasi, can we sleep at night?
Soundly.
Can we sleep soundly at night pag inatake tayo? Do we have the capacity, our armed forces, our air force, our marines, etc. Do we have the capacity to defend ourselves? Yung mga helicopter nyo, yung mga ammunition nyo, second hand, yung mga discards ng mga dinonate sa atin ng mga Amerikano. Or are we really reliant, dependent on regional alliance and foreign interference into our defense? That's why we are calling as friends our ASEAN neighbors,
Okay.
Australia, Japan, etc., against foreign aggression. And naintindihan natin yung closeness ng presidente natin sa United States, no? Kasi critical ang West Philippine Sea. And you are the one monitoring cybersecurity in the West Philippine Sea. Do we have the capacity to defend ourselves? O tama ba si Duterte na sana maging probinsya na lang tayo ng China?
Ma'am, ibigay ko yung buong context.
Yes.
For every state, we have different powers. Yung dime natin, ma'am, no? Diplomatic, information, military, and economic.
Diplomatic,
Information, military, and economic. So these are the powers of every state. So for us to defend, no, sa ngayon po, with these geopolitical tensions that we're facing, ang ginagamit po natin dyan dahil nanalo tayo sa arbitral ruling noong 2016, no? So, our right is our might. By international laws, nasa atin ang karapatan dyan sa West Philippine Sea. So, nandyan po, kaya ang ginagamit po natin is diplomatic and information. With the Transparency Initiative, we're showing the whole world with the media embedded in our RORE missions, no, na ito talaga yung nangyayari dito. That's the diplomatic and information side. But, hindi kami ang frontlines with the guidance of our Commander-in-Chief to not escalate tensions. But, of course, we should maintain the capacity and the capability to be able to deter any attack. So lalaban po tayo hanggang sa huli. So ang military po ninyo, we are upskilling. Nakita nyo naman po, napakaraming exercises na kinakonduct natin, no? Trainings, SMEs, and all those things, no? We are also, yung organization po natin, nagbabago po siya, no? Dumadami po yan. We are massively recruiting, adding to our numbers, and also we have force multipliers, which is our reserve forces, no? Andiyan po din yung mga yan. Kung ano po yung skill sets that they can offer to us. And we are strengthening our alliances with like-minded nations and well-meaning nations. So, hindi lang po US yan. Andiyan po ang SOVFA na pinirmahan na po ng New Zealand. Meron din po tayo sa Canada. France is also coming.
What's the name
with
of
the
the
UK.
agreement?
Status of Visiting Forces Agreement. So,
okay.
SOVFA po. No? So, yun po. But with the Japan, ang SOVFA po natin is equal to the RAA, which is the Reciprocal Access Agreement. So, kung titingnan nyo po, hindi lang po ito puro gera, ma'am. Ang malaki po dito ay humanitarian assistance and disaster response. Dahil ang Pilipinas po, malapit tayo sa sakuna. Malapit tayo sa yan po, may the big one pa tayong inaabangan other than this ano po, no? So
Dami ko nang nabiling helmet eh.
Yes, so napakalaking chunk po niyan. So these exercises is not only for defense but also for humanitarian assistance. So two-pronged yan. And yung alliances po natin, they're helping us by giving their capabilities, their technological capacities, yung mga radars nila, pinapahiram nila, may mga gamit po silang nagagamit natin, plus the skill sets that we learn from them. Thus, we do not reinvent the wheel. So, malaki po ang ginagawa niyan. And magandang i-highlight, ma'am, itong huli is the AJEX Dagit Pa. Yung AFP Joint Exercises Dagit Pa. Dagat, langit at lupa. And we did this time.
Sunod ko, dagat.
Langit at lupa. Bakit distinct itong exercise na ito, ma'am? Dahil ito po ang exercise na wala pong foreign intervention. It is purely AFP with our partners, the Coast Guard and the PNP. So in the event na merong mangyari, paano na tayo lang, no other intervention, will react. And we have shown that this has been very effective. And tinamaan pa to nitong huling bagyo, ma'am. Uwan po and the other bagyo, no? Thus, ito pong hinolt namin yung exercises and it became a practical one. Instead of really just acting on it, naging humanitarian assistance disaster response talaga ito pong naging exercise na to. So makikita mo po, ma'am, internally how the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Coast Guard, the police will act on any eventuality using our own equipment, our own armaments, no, and our own troops independently. We will defend the nation. And na-prove natin to, Kajimi, no, nitong huli, ma'am, with the Battle of Yultong. It was in Korea. Grueling weather, winter, wala pong winter ang Pilipinas. Pero 900 na Pilipino nakipaglaban po sa 40,000 na Chinese. And we won. In grueling weather, greatly outnumbered, we won, no?
Yan ba yung 10th BCT?
Yes, sir, yung 10th BCT. So, historically po, pinakita natin na ang Pilipino po hanggang sa dulo lalaban yan. And because hinug na hinug tayo, ma'am, no? Hasang-hasa po tayo sa internal security operations natin, fighting with our own brothers. Now it's over. No, dismantled na po sila, wala na po tayong guerrilla fronts, no. We are now shifting from internal security operations to territorial defense.
Is that factual, no? Because
Yes, ma'am. Opo.
Yung issue ng insurgency, no, not only NPA, CPP, but sa BARM, no, sa Mindanao.
Yes,
Has
ma'am.
that been controlled or is being properly monitored?
Yes,
Internal.
ma'am. Opo. Yung peace process po natin is
Yung
well on
because
its
you were
way.
involved.
Yes,
Involved ka sa
ma'am.
peace process.
Opo, it's very well on its way. Tuloy-tuloy po siya. Kahit na may mga challenges tayo here and then, isolated
What are we
incidents
doing
po.
right? What are you doing right? This government doing
It's
right?
a whole of government approach po. So we are inculcating development practices po, no? They're also part of it. We have the sila po ay they take ownership in that because they're really part of this conversation, how to move forward. So hinihintay na lang po natin itong magiging election nga, no? And ang hindi dapat natin makalimutan dito, sir and ma'am, that there are outside forces na gusto po talagang
Destabilize tayo.
guluhin itong mga magandang gains na nakuha natin with the peace process and with all of this noise that's happening. Let us not lose sight of the bigger picture. Meron po tayong mas malaking challenge that we're facing, which is our geopolitical tensions po. So doon po tayo nagta-transition ngayon, territorial defense.
Meron tayong 1 minute pa. What can you address the people to as a message?
Especially about this coming weekend, Jimmy.
Meron tayong threat of destabilization.
At saka
So 3 days na to, may rally
Magkukudeta
yung
daw. Okay.
isang religious cult.
Pinabulaanan na po natin yung kudeta na yan, ma'am, no? Wala po sa ating hanay ang mai-involve po in any of those na usapin. We assure you of the professionalism of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and ito po ang panawagan natin sa mga magrarally po. We respect po yung freedom of expression and the freedom of for them to speak out. But ito pong organizers, sana po pinangako naman po nila na ito po ay magiging peaceful na rally. And ito po din po, while we augment the PNP po in this, sa peace and order, ang tinitingnan po natin dito, sana po ang mga organizers will also be responsible in looking at their ranks, no? Na talagang pag sinabi po nilang peaceful rally ito, sisiguraduhin din po talaga nila na ang hanay po nila will really be there for peaceful means and hindi po dapat natin mahalo.
Maraming nanonood and are very
Maraming
impressed
salamat.
with you.
It's time.
Maraming salamat sa iyo. Shout out ako kay Jawad, nanonood daw siya. At on that note, this will be a peaceful weekend. And paalala natin ka, Jimmy, at the end of the day, it is love of country tayo.
Love of country.
It is love
Yes
of
po.
country.
Iba-iba man ang direction yan. Basta love of country pa rin.
Love of country pa rin tayo. Dito po si Attorney Lorna Patao Kapunan at ka Jimmy Ragalario. Dito po tayo sa Laban para sa Karapatan. Susunod na po si Ma'am Celia Ortega Bueno at Raul Esperas. Have a peaceful weekend. Sabi nga ni Colonel Francel, pwede tayong matulog na mahimbing. Thank you so much.
Sumainyo ang